Good morning, all of you. Welcome back to class 7 science. Today we are going to continue with our topic. The topic that we were studying was heat, right? So today I'll tell you a bit more about these three modes of heat transfer. Okay? So if you remember, what we did yesterday was I told you the names of all these three modes of heat transfer. Yes, and I also told you that in which all states of matter these modes of transfer hold, right? So if let me just revise that what we did yesterday. So it was that conduction is the mode of heat transfer in solids, right? Convection is the mode of heat transfer in liquids and gases, and radiation is the mode of heat transfer in any of the modes, be it a solid, a liquid, a gas, or no medium at all. That means even vacuum. Okay, so we'll study each one of them now in a bit more detail. Okay, so first of all we talk about conduction. Conduction is a mode of heat transfer which takes place in solids, right? So, how does it take place basically? If you remember in class 3 or class 4, you would have studied about the positions of particles when they are in the solid state of matter. What happens? They are closely packed. Yes. So if I want to represent how particles are packed in solids, I will say something like this. Yes, they are all closely packed, right? They are all closely packed with very little intermolecular space. What is intermolecular space? Intermolecular space is the space between molecules. So since what are molecules? Molecules are basically the particles which make up any solid. So here all these particles, they are tightly packed. That means they have very little space in between them, right? So this is how solids are. So if this mode of heat transfer is taking place only in solids, so what can you guess out of it? See, what will happen? These particles transfer the heat to one another. Okay, you remember that activity which I told you yesterday? That activity was that we have a scale, right? A scale was tied to a clamp, and here we had little wax spots, right? And I am laying a candle here. So if I am laying my candle here, what will happen? Which will be the wax spot which will first melt? It will be this one, right? First of all, this one will melt, then afterwards this, then third one, then the next one. This is how wax spots will melt. Why? Because since heat is present here, it is moving in this direction. It is not that it will heat up the whole scale at once. No, it will gradually move to that direction. I would say gradually move to the colder direction. This one is a hotter one, so it is gradually moving towards the colder direction. Same thing happens when we heat a solid. Let's say I am heating it from this side. If I am heating it from this side, what will happen? These molecules get heated, then they transfer their heat to the next available layer of molecules. See, okay, the molecules which are getting heated, I am darkening them, okay, so that it becomes clear to you what is happening. So first of all, this layer has got the heat. You can see that. Then the next layer will get the heat. Then the third layer gets the heat. Then the fourth one, and so on. So what is happening? Heat is moving from one particle to the neighboring particle. then the neighboring particle is transferring it to its next neighboring particle. This is how heat is getting transferred in the conduction mode. So what can you conclude that what kind of mode will be conduction? Conduction is a kind of mode of heat transfer which is done through particles, and the particles need to be in contact with each other. If I have two different bodies, they need to be in contact with each other, only then conduction takes place. Fine. So let's say if I have if I have, let's say, a mug full of very hot coffee. Okay, so if I just simply I have a small spoon. If I just simply lay it over the cup, over the mug of coffee, will it get heated? No. How will it get heated? If I put it inside, right? If I put the spoon inside the mug into the coffee, immediately in a few minutes time, I'll see that it has got heated up, right? So how it has got heated up? Due to contact between the particles of coffee and particles of the spoon. Understand? So that is why conduction is only possible in solids, because solids is the only state of particles where particles are in contact with each other. If you remember liquids, particles are not in contact, they are loosely packed, and gases, so they are randomly, very loosely packed, right? They are literally moving in different directions. So the only mode, the only state of matter in which conduction is possible will be the solids. Understand? And the two bodies need to be in contact with each other, only then conduction will take place. If I have, let's say, a hot mug of coffee, I am simply laying my finger near it, I will not feel the heat. I will feel the heat the moment I touch it. So the moment I touch it, particles are in contact and immediately heat transfer takes place and conduction takes place. That is how I feel hot. Understand? So this is the mode of heat transfer, conduction, the first mode which is present only in solids. Understand? You know what exactly happens? How is this? We are saying ki, okay, they are transferring the heat to the next neighboring particle. What exactly is happening? Shall I just tell you? Okay, so suppose let's say you are 10 friends all standing in a line and your shoulders are touching each other. Okay, your 10 friends standing in a line facing, let's say, me, facing the teacher, and you are all standing in contact with each other and your shoulders are touching. Okay, now the first one, if I push the first one, what will happen? If I push the first one, what will happen? Second one will be pushed automatically. As the first one shifts to this side, second one will shift. Second one will shift, so third one will shift, and so on. The whole line of friends will shift. Same thing happens with particles. When they gain energy, when they gain heat energy, they start vibrating. You understand vibration? Like this. They vibrate when they get energy. So when the first one gets heat energy, it vibrates, and during this vibration, it pushes the next particle, transfers some of its energy to the next one. Second one starts vibrating as soon as it has got heat energy. So when the second one starts vibrating, it will automatically move from its position and will move the third one, right? And then the third one will shift the heat energy to the fourth one, and so on. Fine? Do you understand this? So conduction takes place when particles, they start vibrating at their positions, and during this process of vibration, they are transferring their heat energy to the next available particle. Understand? This is conduction. Okay? Alright, now we come to the second mode of heat transfer, which is convection. Convection is a very interesting mode of heat transfer. What happens in convection? I'll tell you. Convection, I just told you that it takes place only in liquids and gases. So let's say I have got a beaker full of water and I am trying to heat it. Okay, here I have put in a candle or any heat source. I have put in a burner or something and I am trying to heat this water. Okay, what will happen? First of all, this utensil should be made up of a material which can transfer the heat to the water. How will it do it? Through conduction. Only the heat transfer between the utensil and the first layer of water will take place through conduction, not in water. Okay, so it starts with conduction as there is this first layer of water molecules. The first layer of water molecules, they get the heat from the bottom of the utensil. Okay, now since they have got the heat, what will happen? Beta, all materials, they expand on heating. Okay, every material, no matter what, every material present on in around us, it will always expand on heating. Okay, so when these molecules expand, what will happen? They become light, right? They become light, and as they become light, they move upwards. Understand? Till this point you understand? So what happens? These molecules, as they gain heat energy, they expand, they become light, and that is why they start rising upwards. So as these ones rise upward, the next layer of water molecules which was present just above it, what will happen to that? That will shift down to take its place, to take the empty space here, right? Since these molecules have left out an empty space here, so in order to take up that empty space, the second layer of molecules will start moving down, start moving towards the bottom, right? As they move towards the bottom, now it's their turn to get the heat from the bottom of the pan, right? Second layer gets the heat. What will happen? Same what happened with the first layer. They will start moving up. Third layer comes down, gets the heat, starts rising. Fourth layer comes down, gets the heat, start rising. Do you understand? So this is how the whole layers of molecules in the water, they will get heated up. Understand? It will be more clear with one more example which you see around yourself. Have you always seen in a room, where do we keep AC? You all might be having air conditioners at your home, in your rooms. So at what position is it? Is it downwards or is it towards the top of the room? It is always towards the top of the room, right? I'll tell you why. And I'll also tell you how is it able to cool the room. Understand? See what happens. Upar, like where there is AC, the layer of air molecules which are near to the AC, which are in contact with the air conditioner, they will get cooled down, right? As they get cooled down, what will happen to them? When they were getting hot, they were rising up. So when they are cooling down, they will come down. They will try to settle down, right? So as this layer of air molecules tries to settle down, the next available layer of air molecules will come up to take its place. As they come up to take their place, that empty space, then they will come in contact with the air conditioner. They will get cooled down. They will move down. Then the third layer, it will go up to take up the empty space. Again it will get cooled down with the help of the AC. Again they come down. So always remember, when there are colder molecules of any particle, they will always try to settle down towards the bottom. And the hotter ones will always try to rise upwards. That is only the reason why we have AC towards the top of the room, because warm air will always rise towards the top. And that is only the reason why we have exhaust fans and ventilators also towards the top, because whatever will be the warm air particles or the hot air particles, they will always be towards the top. They are always rising. Colder ones are always settling down since they are heavier, and hotter ones are always trying to rise. So if I have an AC, if I am trying to cool down the hotter air molecules, obviously I'll put it at a place where there are more chances of getting the hotter air molecules, right? That is why the ACs are kept over the top. Okay. Another thing, what about the heat convectors? Have you seen the heat convectors? They are generally not used here. They are used in places which are comparatively extremely cold, right? So in those places, heat convectors are always towards the bottom of the room. They are generally kept on the floor. They are not fixed in the wall or something. They are kept they are kept at the floor of the room. And what is the reason for that? Think about it yourself. Heat convectors, what is their motive? They have to heat up the cold air molecules. So where will the cold air molecules be? They will be there towards the bottom of the room, right? These colder always settle down, hotter always goes up. That is only the reason why we have air conditioners over the top, ventilators over the top since warm air is over the top, and we have heat convectors at the bottom since cold air is always towards the bottom of the room. I hope things are clear to you now. This convection, I think it would be more clear. It would have been more clear after you've understood this, right? So let's just continue with the next topic. Next topic is sea breeze. Sea breeze and land breeze. If you would have ever visited coastal areas, places which are near to the beach, you would have always felt that they always have a breeze blowing, right? So why is it so? Why do they have? What is the reason for that? The reason for that is convection currents, or simply convection. Okay, I'll tell you how. But water has always got a tendency that it heats up also very late and it cools down also very late. मतलब अगर हम हीट करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो वो हीट होने में भी टाइम लगाएगा, और जब एक बार हीट हो जाएगा तो फिर वो ठंडा होने में भी टाइम लगाएगा एज कम्पेयर टू द लैंड. ओके, so this only is the reason what happens in the coastal areas, why sea breeze and land breeze occur. Okay, so first we will talk about the sea breeze. What happens in the sea breeze? Sea breeze is the breeze which blows from the sea towards the land during the daytime. Okay, so sea, from the sea towards the land during daytime. Now I'll tell you how. Okay, so okay, let's say it's morning. Fine, the sun has come up. It has started heating both the land as well as the water, right? So but what happens, I just told you land gets heated up very quickly, but water gets heated up late. So around noonish time, land has got sufficiently heated up, but the sea hasn't. So the air which is above the land, since land has heated up, so the air above the land would be hot. What happens to the hot air molecules? Think. They always rise upwards, right? So as the air which is above the land, it rises upwards. Hot air rises upwards, right? So what will happen? Cold air from the sea will rush in to take up that empty space. Okay, it's a rule of the nature. Nothing can be empty, nothing can be vacuum, right? Even an empty bottle contains air, you all know that, right? So air has always got a tendency to move into a place which is getting emptied. So here the cold air from the sea, since sea has not got heated up yet, so it has got cold air, so that cold air rushes towards the land to take up the empty space which was created when the hot air moved up. As this air rushes towards the land, this creates the sea breeze. Understand? So this creates the sea breeze. When the hot air rises up, that empty space is taken up by the breeze, by the air which was there above the sea. So as that cold air moves to that side, what will happen? Sea breeze occurs. Sea breeze is created. Understand? And just the opposite takes place during night time. I'll tell you how. So night time, what happens? Night time we have the land breeze. What happens during the night? Now, after evening, the sun has set. Fine. So the land starts cooling down. Sea hasn't cooled down yet. Why? Obviously, we know that water takes time to get heated up also, to get cooled down also. During the whole day of heating, water has finally heated up. But it hasn't cooled down yet, right? So it is still hot. Since sea has got hot water, so the air above the sea will be hot air that will rise upwards, and the cold air from the land, since land has cooled down, बहुत जल्दी heat up हो जाता है, बहुत जल्दी cool down हो जाता है. Land has cooled down, so the air, it moves towards the sea. This cold air, as it moves towards the sea, it creates the land breeze. Understand? I hope this is clear to you. Okay. So these two, sea breeze and land breeze, what is the major reason why they are caused? The reason is convection. Yes, sea breeze and land breeze occur due to convection, and also due to uneven heating of land and water. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by uneven heating? Uneven heating means they both don't get heated up the same time, they both don't get cooled down the same time. That is uneven heating. Understand? So land breeze and sea breeze occur due to convection, and also due to the uneven heating of land and water. Fine. So we are almost done with today's class. Let's just give you a small homework. Of course, you will do it in your copy. Draw a diagram showing sea breeze and land breeze. Fine. Draw a diagram showing sea breeze and land breeze. You can do it from your book. You can do it from the internet. You can do it from anywhere. But I want a neat, not very hi-fi drawn diagram. A simple diagram which shows how sea breeze and land breeze occur. Okay? That is your homework which you will do in your fair copy. Understand all of you? I hope I'm clear. I hope you've done the questions that I gave you yesterday also. So most probably tomorrow will be our last class for this chapter. Okay? So please all of you study well and just gear up. Okay? You have to do all these works in your copy. And similar, I am doing this because similar kind of thing I'll give you maybe, okay, I'll give you in your enrichment also. It is not decided yet. We will discuss and then let you know. Okay, so please all of you be careful about this. Okay, all right, so take care all of you. Okay, study well, stay safe at home. Bye.